Why, oh why? Why do influencers have context, deliberative, harmony, sometimes and oftentimes restorative? Why do they have these strengths low? So in this video, I'm going to talk about what happens when a person has 3 or more influencing strengths in their top 10, and they just have 2 or 3 or all of those 3 strengths that I just mentioned low. Why are they low? Why do they need to be low? What happens if they don't embrace the fact that those are low? What happens when an influencer is an influencer but doesn't know they're an influencer and they don't know that those strengths are low? What happens? We're going to talk about those things. And also, for those of you that are married to, working with, or really know personally somebody with 3 or more influencing strengths in their top 10, this is going to help you understand them too. Because one thing you have to, I think everybody has to really understand is what is going on with an influencer. Because what influencers want to do is they want to get in your business. They want to get in your personal space. They want to impact you in some way, shape, or form. You can always tell the influencer by who's the loudest person in the room. See, because if you don't know, if you don't understand the influencer, holy cow, they can come off as irritating, annoying, or, oh my gosh, so loud. So what I'm going to share with you is why. Why is that? Why do they have to be loud? When a person has 3 or more of these strengths in their top 10, the desire that they must do all things, that they must honor, is to move people forward. For those of you that are watching here live, do you have 3 or more influencing, or do you know someone who does in their top 10? Let me know in the comments. And tell me if this is them. If you have 3 or more of the influencing, it's to move people forward. That means the influencer has made it their desire, their goal, their focus to focus on what other people are doing or not doing. Well, that is real. That is real as heck. They focus on it. They wake up in the morning and think of you or everyone else around them. Of course, there's different ways they go about it, but bottom line is they want to get into the business of other people. And they're not necessarily selective of that. Not necessarily. They want to see every human being move forward. They only choose to engage with the selective group. What they want to do is see a visual representation of that forward movement. That's it. See it. They want to see it. They have to see it. They have no choice. They have no choice but this. They have to, it's like they wake up and if they don't see someone doing something and moving forward, then it's like, how do I say? It's like being choked. It's like suffocating, right? It's like suffocating. It's like I can't even breathe unless other people are moving forward. So now that you understand that concept, let's talk about why these other strengths tend to be low. So first off, let's talk about context. We talked about the forward movement desire, right? Forward movement desire, forward, moving forward. Context is a strength that is energized by the past. Thanks, sprinkler. I just got hit by a sprinkler. Context is about the past. So the reason why most influencers have context low is because it drains them to live in the past. Remember, selfish, right? Influencer, it's about them. So it drains them to think about the past. It drains them to even focus on it or use it. They don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want it brought up because it's not where I'm going. Who cares about the past? It's gone. It's over. They would say things like that. And so ultimately, when let's say you're not an influencer, right? Let's say you love context and context is a high strength for you and you're married to or working with or know an influencer and you keep bringing up the past, for them, it's a barrier between you moving forward. So influencers, when they have context low and they're around someone who keeps bringing up the past, their internal thought is, if you keep bringing up the past, you are not going to move forward. And I need you to move forward. Ultimately, it's like everything that keeps them from moving forward, they just automatically believe it's going to keep everyone from moving forward. Let's talk about deliberative. So deliberative is a strength where a person will sit and get ready to do something, and they'll think over the goal, right? The thing that needs to get done. It's an executing strength. And then they'll go over all the obstacles, the potential obstacles or the real obstacles, however you want to look at it. And they'll focus on those obstacles because the deliberative said we need to navigate those obstacles in order to make sure we get to where we need to go. Right? In order to navigate those obstacles, in order to make sure we get to where we need to go. Well, I'll tell you right now, influencers with deliberative low hates talking about obstacles. They don't like it. It doesn't help. For them, it doesn't matter if there's an obstacle. Who cares? Let's just go. If there's an obstacle, we'll deal with it and move through it and boom. See, the influencer is in forward movement, which means they're already thinking beyond the obstacle. So to focus on the obstacle keeps them from their best self. Most influencers, especially if they haven't taken the strengths assessment, believe that what holds them back holds the world back. This is why it's important for people to take the strengths assessment, because without it, they just think everybody thinks that way. And that's not true. So let's talk about harmony. It's my 34th. So harmony. Harmony is when a person has harmony high, they have a concern over what other people are thinking or feeling or dealing with or struggling with and so on. In other words, they're concerned about what other people are going through. So much so that they even put themselves in those other people's experiences. Like when a person has harmony high, and empathy works like this too, but mostly harmony where there's a worry that something is not being done the right way with others. It's almost like harmony expects you to guess what another person wants, and then you honor that. And guess, by the way, you have to guess it right. The reason why influencers have harmony low is because they believe that the way that things have been done, whether you've been doing them or other or themselves, the flow of how things have been going, it has to change. Not just the flow itself, but like the rule that governs that flow. Like saying, hey, things have to be this way, so it has to flow this way. The influencer would say, well, that rule is wrong, and that rule needs to change, and that in order for you to get something different, the rule must change. The belief system must change. And so when an influencer has harmony low, I can tell you right now, they have no problem with breaking your flow. They have no problem with it because they know personally that it's keeping things status quo is what keeps you from success and growth and more, because influencers are all about more, right? So when they have harmony low, I'll tell you right now, they are a trigger machine. They are here specifically to trigger you, to break your rules. Because your rules are what keep you where you are. And influencers know that in order for you to move forward, your rules have to change. Your rules have to be broken. And that's it. I know, it should sound logical, but it isn't. It doesn't sound, it isn't logical, because if it was, then everybody would do that. Most influencers are like, isn't it common sense that in order to have something you don't have, you have to do something you don't do? Like, an influencer would say that. But a high harmony person would go, no, but you know, how the way things flow is important. There's important other factors and so on. So, harmony, context, deliberative. Let's talk about restorative. Last one. Why do influencers have restorative low? Well, most influencers, not all, but most influencers have activator or positivity or both in their top 12 or 13 strengths. And when they have that combination, it's all about understanding that the best way to move forward is to have hope. Is to have hope in the belief that something good is going to happen. All you have to do is start moving. And an influencer would always say that. If you just start moving and you just believe that something good is going to happen, then it will. And so that is all activator, positivity, maybe even communications mixed in there. But you throw in these strengths and there's no room for talking about what's broken. That's what restoratives want to do. Restoratives want to talk about what's broken, what's not working. Let's talk about what's not working. Let's focus on what's not working. Let's get really in there and understand what's not working. Hey, you're not listening to me. What's not working? This is not working. This is not working. And the restoratives want to lead with it. Hey, all right, it's time to get started. Here's what's broken. See, the influencer wants to move forward. The influencer doesn't want to hear what's broken. The influencer wants to know, where do you want to go? Doesn't matter what's broken. If you run into an influencer that has context, deliberative, and restorative low, their mission to move people forward is very personal, extremely personal, so personal that they can't really think about anything other than that until the entire world has changed. And the influencer recognizes that the entire world will never actually change. But that's what their life is about. It's devoted to changing the world. So I hope this has helped you a lot. Understand the mind of an influencer, or the motivations, or the why they talk the way they talk. I hope this has helped you out. If you have influencing high, I hope this has helped you understand why you get so frustrated around people who do these things. And it's okay. It doesn't mean they're wrong. And it doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean they're right. And it doesn't mean you're right. What it means is you are you and they are them, and that's how it works. When we understand each other, we work together better. Because the truth is, that's what we